You're looking for the woodsman, right? I know where he is. My guy says he's holed up at the Trip Trap.
Welcome to today's video. As you guys already know, I love Telltale's The Wolf Among Us, and I have grown to love the game more as the years go by. I've always loved the concept of our childhood tales being thrown into real-world situations, and the dark and gritty detective style that Telltale adapts is exactly that. I would like to remind you guys that this is part 2 of our somewhat deep dive into the original origins of these characters. Part 1 covered the Crooked Man. So one thing that's always caught my eyes were those fables that we didn't know much about. Of course, most of us know the Magic Mirror, Snow White, and the Big Bad Wolf, but maybe we don't know Georgie Porgy or the Crooked Man. Because of this, I would like to dive deeper into the world of Fables that takes place in the video game adaptation, and not the comic book series written by Bill Willingham. Our purpose here is to try and learn a little bit more about some of these characters and their beginnings. Today we'll be looking at two of the most annoying brothers in the history of fairy tales, Tweedle Dee and Tweedle Dum. Now, Tweedle Dee and Tweedle Dum appear to be an English nursery rhyme, much like the Crooked Man was. They first made their appearance as the two identical brothers in 1871, when they were published in Lewis Carroll's book, Through the Looking Glass and What Alice Found There. However, that was not the first time that the two names Tweedle Dee and Tweedle Dum appear in print. The origins of that name go a little further in history, to the year 1725, when John Byrom wrote in his satirical epigram, "Some say, compared to Boninki, that mine here Handel's but a ninny. Others aver that he to Handel is scarcely fit to hold a candle. Strange all this difference should be twixt Tweedle Dum and Tweedle Dee." And now the original rhyme that became popular with both Tweedle Dee and Dum being depicted as the brothers that we currently know reads as follows. Tweedle Dum and Tweedle Dee agreed to have a battle, for Tweedle Dum said Tweedle Dee had spoiled his nice new rattle. Just then flew down a monstrous crow, as black as a tar barrel, which frightened both the heroes so they quite forgot their quarrel. So as you can see, the Tweedles are kind of innocent and oblivious to what's going on in the world. They have a lot of love for each other and seem to be the most comfortable when they are together. And you can kind of see that in the way that they interact with each other in The Wolf Among Us, especially when you go inside of their office and begin to read the notes that they write to each other, even though they only sit a few feet from one another. You see how that rhymed? In Telltale's The Wolf Among Us, Tweedle Dee and Dum appear to be working for the Crooked Man. They also appear to be ruthless and nasty individuals that don't really care for others. They bully, they hurt, and they kill anyone that they are ordered to. In the book of Fables found in The Wolf Among Us, there's an entry for the Tweedles that reads, "The Tweedle brothers, Dum and Dee, are thugs for hire. They appear human, allowing them to carry out their contracts in the Mundy world without drawing suspicion. They are as inseparable as they are ruthless." Like I mentioned in our previous episode, and in this one, I don't know much about certain fables or fairy tales. This includes the Tweedles, the word Tweedledee, and Dum are popular sayings in Western culture, and I would assume in other parts of the world, but I never knew their origins or where they came from, as I was never really into Alice and the Wonderland. So when they appeared in the game, I was kind of familiar with them, or at least the name, but never the actual characters themselves. And to me, they just seem to be kind of annoying for most of the game, but at times when Bigby isn't being serious, they seem to hold their own quite a bit, even injuring the sheriff on occasion. In my playthrough, I killed Dum, but I don't know if that'll translate over to The Wolf Among Us too. Thank you guys for joining me in this video where we look at a brief history for the Tweedle brothers in Telltale's The Wolf Among Us. I will be keeping you guys up to date with news surrounding the sequel and potentially giving you more videos surrounding the history of some of these characters, as I feel there's a big void in the world of The Wolf Among Us, especially on YouTube. I think that this just may be to the time in which the game was released, and maybe the popularity of Telltale games not being as big or attention drawing as other gaming studios. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe as we are on the road to 3,000 subscribers. And also, please like if you enjoyed the video. Let me know other characters that you would like to see a brief history on. I'll see you in our next video.